unusual area and around the world, and we've had some very fascinating guests on the show, some of the world's leading experts in their field. Today we have a TV presenter and success coach, KATY Hill, who comes on board the show, give us a bit of an insight into Uphold and around goal setting. So KATY, welcome to the show. Great to have you on board.
Lovely to be here. Thanks for having me, Jimmy.
KATY, can you tell us a bit more about the poll, the research around sort of setting goals in the UK?
Yeah, so HSBC UK researched 2,000 people just to kind of get some insight into what Brits are doing in terms of goal setting. And the great news is that we are setting goals, which is amazing. Topping the list, which is surprising, is drink more water. But there's a lot of things on there like save for a holiday, be more positive, travel more, save for my retirement, move house, which are incredible goals. And I think it's important that people put the right steps in place to be able to make these amazing, life goals for themselves happen, which is why I'm excited for today and to be able to support people.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And looking at the list is, really interesting in terms of like I said, it ranges from like drinking more water, saving for a holiday. What's your sort of take on anyone listening? I'm sure a lot of our listeners do set goals. Some don't. Some might do subconsciously. But what can people do to sort of focus on setting goals? Have you got any sort of like tips that people can do?
Yeah, definitely. 43% of the people surveyed said that financial goals they found hardest to achieve, right? So what I would suggest is start with the end in mind, right? So get really clear on what it is you're trying to achieve and actually really create an amazing vision for that. So don't just think, I want to go on holiday next August, for example. Think, okay, I want to go to Italy with my family next summer, and how's it going to feel when you're there? Like, imagine yourself there. How does it feel? Like, who does this goal also support? It also supports your family or your friends if you're going with friends. What are the specific things you want to do? Like, get really excited about that vision. I'd also go as far as to make a vision board, like just cut out pictures of where you're going to stay, things you're going to see, all of that. Put it on your fridge so it can power you up every single morning. But the next step is have that amazing vision. But then the important thing is start with the end in mind and work backwards to create the goals along the way that are going to make that happen. Be they financial, be they personal, whatever it is. If it's a fitness goal, work out the steps that are going to get you to that amazing end vision. And I think that's the probably missing piece for a lot of people. We get really clear on our big, bold vision, but because we don't then create the steps that are going to lead to it, we get overwhelmed with this big picture and just kind of give up on all of it. And it's, there's an amazing quote, which is, if your mind can't see the steps, your heart will ask to pause. Like, we need to be able to see how we're going to make something happen, otherwise we won't.
Absolutely, that makes sense. And I think for some people, sort of, KATY, as well, it might be the fear of not achieving the goal. Do you feel that some people might not set goals because, that fear of failure or perceived failure?
Yeah, and I think that's another key thing with goals. Everyone that's certainly from a corporate background will have heard of SMART goals. It's got to be specific, which is the vision. It's got to be measurable, which are the steps that are going to get you there. But it's crucially got to be achievable. Is this goal achievable for you? I'm all for bold, audacious goals, but they need to be within the realms of possibility. So, for example, if you're not a runner and you decided now, where are we, October, that you wanted to run the marathon next April, that's possible. You could work backwards and create the steps that were going to make that happen. If you decided on March the 31st that you were going to run a marathon in April and you'd never run, that isn't in any way achievable for you. So it's making sure that your goals are brave, bold goals, but also that they are achievable and within the realms of possibility. And they need to be relevant to, the person you're becoming and the life you're trying to create. And making them time bound, again, that's part of the goal setting. It's putting, what are you going to do by when that is going to lead you to it. Another huge thing that helps is making yourself accountable. So when you make yourself accountable, you're 95% more likely to make a goal happen. So it's a no-brainer. Like, share your goals with a friend or a family member, or, if you're going on holiday with friends, check in with them on how their financial goals are going to save for that holiday. Like, making yourself accountable massively impacts making the thing happen. So I think it's a no-brainer to do it. But I think it's exciting, and I think right now is a really brilliant time to actually ask yourself some questions on what are the goals you want to achieve in 2024, and putting some of those in place. Because if you wait till New Year's Eve, which is what most people do, then New Year's Day comes, then before you know it, it's the 5th of January, it's raining, nobody's set any goals, you feel like you're on the back foot already. Setting goals now and getting intentional with how you want to live life, it's such a great time of year to be doing this work.
Absolutely, and also the journey as well, Katy. I mean, it's like one thing setting a goal and achieving it, but also it's like a compass for your life, really, kind of the journey. So,
it's amazing. And I think this, for me, having been in broadcasting all my life and retraining as a coach back in 2017, I've always been quite into personal development, but I discovered when it comes to, life balance and life blend, as I call it, because I don't think we can ever fully be in balance, there are 9 proven areas that are now my 9 limitless life pillars, spelling out the word limitless, and they're love, impact, how much impact you're having in the world, your mates, your friendships, income, tasks, what you do for a living, laughs, what you do for fun, your environment, how your surroundings make you feel positive and power you up or not, your strength, which is, what you're eating and how you're moving your body, and your spirit, which is, how are you making yourself feel great? Is it reading books? Is it listening to music? Like, those are the 9 proven areas that we need to pay attention to feel fulfilled. And before I trained as a coach in 2017, I'd never heard of these areas. I'd certainly never set goals in any of these areas intentionally. And actually, for me in my life, I set a massive goal when I was a kid because I wanted to be on Blue Peter, wrote to the editor, he said get experience, and I put the goals in place. I got the experience to make my vision happen. But it was without realising what I was doing. I kind of naturally lived what I teach people to do now in coaching. So it's lovely for me that life has come full circle, and I got to kind of, empower people when I was on telly to play bigger and be bold and brave. And I now equip and empower those same people as a coach in 23 and beyond. It's really exciting.
No, definitely. It sounds like you sort of transferred the skills you learnt in the broadcasting across to the coaching as well. Yeah. And what about being like philosophical too, in terms of people, Katy, if you don't achieve the goal? I mean, I must admit I set goals all the time, but if I don't achieve it, I might be a little bit disappointed, but I'm philosophical. It might not have been meant for me, or maybe at that time. Do you think there's a case for just, saying, okay, well, maybe something better is going to, or maybe something more suitable to me is going to come my way type thing?
I think it's making sure that you're setting goals that are relevant to who you are as a person and where it is you want to go, and not goals you feel you should be setting. I think it's about goals that resonate with you as a person. That's the key to kind of making them happen, and also making sure you're checking in with your progress along the way is also really important. And that's why, HSBC came up with this whole survey, because they've just launched an investment calculator which kind of supports you on your journey. And I think it is having those regular check-ins with something, be it a friend, be it online, whatever it is, that help move you towards. I think if you set the big vision and then create the goals, that's fine, but you've got to actually take steps every single day to make those happen. And maybe that's the piece that people forget to do. You can't just, there's no magic dust that I can drop that's going to help my clients achieve their goals. We actively work on them together to make them happen, and I become their accountability buddy to do that.
Absolutely, no, for sure. And if anyone listening wants more information on the poll or the work that you do, Katy, can you signpost them anywhere, like any of our listeners?
Sure, yeah. So if they want to find the investment calculator, that's on hsbc.co.uk. Definitely worth a look. I'd love everyone to follow me on Instagram. That's probably where I'm most active, at I'm Katy Hill. And my website, if anyone wants to connect, is katyhill.com. But I really encourage everyone to just remember that it's about, getting intentional, and that it's exciting getting to design life. Like, we get to create what we want to create. So let's get back in the driving seat and make that happen.
No, absolutely. No, that's fantastic. Thanks for your time, Katy. It's been really interesting and informative. Thanks
Lovely
again.
to chat. Thanks you so much.
Fantastic day. Thank you, Ta.